Before we dive into today's webinar, I'd like to highlight just a few features for you. To the left-hand side of your screen, you can see I've highlighted the chat box. As we go through the slides, we encourage you to submit your questions, and Laura and I will go ahead and respond to those questions. For some of the more general ones, if you don't mind, we'll actually go ahead and read those aloud and respond to the group as a whole. If you have a more member-specific personal question, we'll go ahead and respond to that privately and not for the group as a whole to read. Also, at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen is a folder icon. If you click on that icon, you can download a number of helpful documents from various SBCERA presentations. And you should be able to download these slides as well. So if you'd like to have the slides after today, you can download them there. You can also email communications@sbcera.org. And I'll type that into the chat box here. You can email us and we're happy to share these slides with you. We're also recording today's webinar. And so for those of you who registered in advance, we have your email addresses. We can go ahead and send you the recording as well. So once again, thank you for spending your coffee break with SBCERA as we talk today about retirement options and your beneficiaries. So as active members, hopefully all of you have selected a beneficiary or beneficiaries. If you're not sure if you have selected a beneficiary, or if you need to make an update to that, you can visit Member Direct, which is our online member portal, and I just typed the link into the chat box. You can log into Member Direct, view the designated beneficiaries that you have on file, and you can also access forms if you'd like to make updates. But prior to retirement, your beneficiary is the person or persons designated to receive survivor benefits. And you can designate more than one, and you can also make changes as needed. So if you have changes, for instance, in marital status, or as you have children, if your brother gets on your nerves and you want to switch your beneficiary to your sister, or if you'd like both your brother and your sister to be beneficiaries, you can make those updates as needed.
So you got to remember, you go on our website or give us a call and we can get the paperwork to you to change your beneficiaries right now as an active member.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So that's for active members, but what we're going to focus on today are beneficiaries in retirement. So Laura, can you talk to us a little bit about what happens during a retirement, service retirement consultation and the selections that a member would make with regards to beneficiaries?
Well, when you come in and do your final retirement appointment, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be choosing the beneficiary that you wish to have for the rest of your retired life. There are some changes that you can make. So there is going to be a burial benefit down there on the bottom of the screen. You can change your beneficiaries if you choose a different type of option at retirement. There are some few exceptions. Most of the time it is going to be irrevocable after you start receiving retirement benefit. But when you come on in, we're going to sit down with you, we're going to do all the retirement paperwork, and at that time, you're going to go over and decide which beneficiary and who your eligible beneficiaries are, and you're going to be putting that down on the paperwork when we're signing the paperwork with you at that time.
Thanks, Laura. So again, this is at retirement. You'll be selecting a person to receive a monthly continuance of your benefit and or a lump sum upon your death. So there are various options, and you'll be able to select one of those options, and we'll cover them in some of the subsequent slides. But again, you'll be determining how you wish to collect your benefit and how you would like your beneficiaries to be paid should you predecease them. So among the benefit options, the first one is what's known as the unmodified option. This happens to be the most commonly selected, but it provides a maximum retirement benefit to you, and then a 60% continuance to an eligible beneficiary. So it's important for us to define what an eligible beneficiary is. for that continuance, that 60% continuance of your benefit. So an eligible beneficiary can be an eligible spouse or domestic partner. So this is someone to whom you are married or registered in the state of California at least 1 year prior to your effective retirement date, or post-retirement. It's someone to whom you're married or registered for at least 2 years before your death. And that person also has to be at least 55 years of age at the time of your passing. An eligible beneficiary for that continuance could also be an eligible child. So to define that, it's an unmarried dependent child under the age of 18. And that benefit may continue up to the age of 22 if that child is an unmarried full-time student. So that's for receiving that 60% continuance of your unmodified benefit. But Laura, what happens if there is no eligible beneficiary? Can you speak to that and what happens with that unmodified option?
Well, if you don't have an eligible beneficiary at the time when you pass away, if your spouse, if you signed the retirement paperwork, you were currently married at the time, if your spouse predeceases you, you are eligible to remarry, and they just have to meet the eligibility qualifications to receive that 60% continuance. So again, go back to the post-retirement marriage. If you're married for at least 2 years prior to you passing away, and when you pass away, your spouse or domestic partner is at least age 55, then they become eligible to receive that 60% continuance for the rest of their lifetime.
So hopefully we were able to address that question. And again, if there is no eligible beneficiary, then a lump sum of any undistributed refundable contributions would go to another designated beneficiary. So that could be brother or sister, an adult child. It can also be your estate. Now, Laura, if someone wants to select a trust or a charitable organization, is that allowed?
You can select your estate. However, a trust and a charity, unfortunately, we cannot accept as a beneficiary, and no pets. Sorry.
As much as we love our goldfish, we're not able to
Yes,
select
no, I
them.
know, sorry.
Yeah. So we have a question from Christy P. How long do my undistributed contributions last?
Well, really, when you start receiving your retirement benefit, every single month you're going to be drawing out of, we call it a bucket. So when you're an active member, you're putting your contributions in, especially the refundable ones that you can see when you go onto Member Direct. You're going to be drawing that out every single month according to how your benefit is, how much you are. They usually get used up within the first, I'd say, 5 to 7 years of retirement. Once those are gone, you draw from the main retirement fund, but there's nothing left in that undistributed contributions to be paid out to anybody. But you're going to get a lifetime benefit, and if you chose a beneficiary that's going to receive a continuing benefit, they'll receive it lifetime if you predecease them as well.
So we also have a question about designating a trust for a beneficiary.
I do recommend doing a trust. However, if you name your alternate beneficiary for the unmodified option, if you wanted to choose that at retirement, name your alternate, name estate. Your estate does fall under your trust. So if you're doing your trust paperwork right now, or if you already have one, you noticed in the trust paperwork you have your estate. If you did name your estate, you passed away, and there's any undistributed contributions left to be paid out, we will pay that out to your estate, and that'll go to whoever's the executor. They'll put that in the trust, and they'll pay it out according to your wishes after you pass away.
So for the sake of time, we'll move on and cover some of the other benefit options. However, Laura and I are more than happy to stick around after the 15-minute mark conclusion of the webinar, and we're happy to address additional questions, or we can clarify some of our responses if you have any questions. So continuing with our benefit options, we just talked about the unmodified, but we also have option 1, which provides a reduced benefit to you based on life expectancy, your life expectancy. So there's an actuarial determination, if you will, or calculation. And then this would provide a lump sum to your beneficiary.
So again, we're going back to the undistributed refundable contributions. So really option one, it's going to reduce your monthly benefit, but leave a lump sum cash out of that contributions only to a beneficiary. And this one, you can change your beneficiaries anytime that you want on this one.
Option 2 provides a reduced benefit to you based on your life expectancy, you the member, and your beneficiary. It provides a 100% continuance of that reduced benefit. So essentially it provides the reduced benefit amount to your beneficiary as a continuance. And then the beneficiary must have an insurable interest in your life. Laura, is that a term you're able to define for us?
Yeah. So basically, somebody with insurable interest, that is essentially any person who would be injured financially by your death. So if that is somebody, you can prove that the individual is personal value to you, such as a spouse, a parent, dependent child, or even a business partner. So you'd be able to name them as a beneficiary for these next three options, options 2, 3, and 4.
Thank you. So option 3, as you can see on the slide, similar to option 2, but it provides a 50% continuance for the beneficiary and less of a reduction to you, the member, than in option 2. And then finally, there's option 4, which we sometimes referred to as our designer option. Laura, can you talk about this one and perhaps some of the scenarios, life situations that often exist when option 4 is selected?
Yeah, option 4, it's a customizable one. So for the majority of our members, it's usually if you have a situation of divorce, and then you have it's called a domestic relations order that tells us you're going to be choosing this option, and you need to name usually your ex-spouse for a certain percentage. However, you can also name different beneficiaries. So we have had children named, or if you wanted to choose a different percentage for a spouse or anybody. So these are all customizable. You can name one or more people to be a beneficiary with different percentages.
So with that, we want to thank you once again for spending your coffee break with us. Laura and I are more than happy to stick around. We can answer more of your questions through chat. And I'll also encourage you to register for one of our pre-retirement seminars. If you go to the link provided in the chat box, sbcera.org/seminars, you can take a look at our schedule of mid-career seminars, pre-retirement seminars, as well as future coffee break webinars just like this one. So I hope this was informative and worth your time, and if you'd like to participate in ongoing webinars like this, certainly encourage you to visit that link, and you can get the full schedule and register. I also just shared a link. This is a page on our website that talks more about the retirement options that we just covered today. So if you'd like to read in a bit more detail and have some more text in front of you than just the bullet points that were featured on the slides, I encourage you to go to that link on our website, selecting a retirement option.